Do you feel like your Obsidian Vault is more of a digital junk drawer than a productivity system? I know I did. 6 months ago, my Obsidian looked like this. Notes everywhere, no structure, a tagging system that made sense Monday but was complete gibberish by Friday. Now it looks like this. The difference isn't just aesthetic. This transformation has completely changed how I interact with my knowledge and ideas. I no longer waste time hunting for information or feeling overwhelmed by digital clutter. My system actually supports my thinking rather than getting in the way. And today I'm showing you my exact setup, no theory, no you should advice, just the actual system I use every day. You'll see my folder structure, essential plugins, and the specific workflows that make the system work. Let's start with the philosophy that changed everything for me. My Obsidian philosophy. The biggest mistake I made with Obsidian was trying to capture everything, and I mean everything. Random thoughts, article highlights, meeting notes, project ideas, all dumped into a digital landfill I called my vault. Here is a counterintuitive principle that changed everything. The value of a note-taking system isn't what goes in, it's what comes out. Most Obsidian tutorials focus on fancy input methods, but I realized I need to design for output, for actually using and applying what I capture. So I rebuilt my entire system around three core principles. Friction-free capture. If it takes more than 3 seconds to capture a thought, the system fails. Connection over collection. Nodes gain value when linked to other nodes. Action orientation. Every node should eventually drive some form of output or decision. This philosophy might sound obvious, but here is something nobody talks about. Most Obsidian setups are designed to make you feel productive rather than actually be productive. They're digital productivity theater. I wanted a system that produced results, not just the sensation of organization. Let me show you exactly how my vault is structured. You'll notice something immediately about my folder structure. It's initially minimal. I have just a few key folders. All files, where all new notes are initially created. Journals for my daily notes and reflections. Archive, where I move notes I no longer need visible. Vault contains my templates and system files. But here is the interesting part. I don't rely heavily on folders for organization. Instead, I use a linking system that starts from central pages. My entire system revolves around these key pages. Homepage, the central hub from which all other links branch out. Notes, quick capture for ideas that need to be jotted down immediately. For synchronization, I use Syncthing. It gives me complete control while keeping everything in sync across my devices. My linking system. I create a main homepage from which I link to all other pages. This is the key to my system. I don't use folders for categorization. I use links from home pages instead. What makes this especially powerful is that I've set my main homepage to open automatically whenever I start Obsidian. This creates a consistent starting point for all my work and navigation. I've configured Obsidian to automatically create all new notes in my all files folder by default. This means I never have to think about where to save a note initially. I just create it and it appears in all files. Then I link these notes from my homepage or other relevant pages. If I no longer want to see a page in my main navigation, I simply move to archive and cross it out from my homepage links. This link-based rather than folder-based organization gives me tremendous flexibility while maintaining organization. This system has completely eliminated the "where should I put this" anxiety that plagued my early Obsidian setups. The homepage-centered approach gives me a clean, visual way to access everything that matters while keeping the underlying folder structure minimal. Now let's talk about the plugins that supercharge the system. Essential plugins and customizations. I've tried dozens of Obsidian plugins, but most just added complexity without adding value. I want to share the specific plugins that actually make a difference in my workflow. Rather than explaining each one in detail, I'll focus on how they support my system. Homepage. Create my central navigation system. Data Loom helps me create Notion-like tables right inside Obsidian. Iconize makes my navigation visually intuitive. Style Settings helps me customize themes for better visual experience. OmniSearch, powerful search beyond Obsidian's defaults. Recent Files, quick access to frequently used nodes. Templata, creates sophisticated templates for consistency. URL into selection lets me highlight any word and instantly convert it to a hyperlink. But here is the plugin combination. The homepage plugin is particularly valuable. Let me show you how I use this system day to day with some specific workflows that have made a big difference. Flows and use cases. The best system is worthless if you don't actually use it. Here's exactly how this setup integrates into my daily work. First, my Stoic morning routine. I start each day with a practice I call Stoic meditation. The template for this I created automatically via Templata with 4 key questions. What will I face today? How should I respond with virtue? What are the consequences if I don't? What did I do well today? And what could I improve? This simple practice helps me approach the day with intention and clarity. By the way, I have a video on my channel about how Stoicism helped me recover after a difficult breakup. You'll see it pop up in a card right now if you're interested in learning more about applying these principles. Study workflow. My approach to loading is straightforward but effective. I create a main page for each area of study, then add links to specific subject notes. Within these notes, I write my summaries and insights in freeform, allowing my natural thinking process to flow rather than forcing it into rigid structures. For example, here is how I organized my notes for my marketing internship. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. It provides organization without unnecessary complexity. Now let's talk about the templates that makes this all possible. Templates and future proofing. Templates help me maintain consistency with notes I create frequently. I keep my approach to templates very simple. I only create them for content that I repeatedly use. The main template I use is for my Stoic meditation practice, which contains the 4 questions I mentioned earlier. This simple approach to templates saves me time and helps maintain consistency without adding unnecessary complexity. Tips and favorite features. Let me share some of my favorite Obsidian tips that makes a huge difference. I've customized my navigation hotkeys to match those in the Arc browser since that's what I'm used to. Specifically, I use this to navigate forward and this to navigate back to previous page. Creating muscle memory without consistent hotkeys across different applications reduces cognitive load. Templates are useful for creating consistent structures for repeating note types. Conclusion. So there you have it, my actual daily Obsidian setup. To recap the key elements: a minimal folder structure, all files, journals, archive, vault, homepage centers navigation instead of complex folder hierarchies, strategic use of a few powerful plugins, Simple yet effective workflows for daily practice and study. Customized hotkeys that match my other applications. What makes this system work isn't its complexity, it's quite the opposite. It's designed to be simple enough to actually use every day, while still being flexible enough to adapt to different needs. If you're just starting with Obsidian, don't try to implement everything at once. Start with the basic folder structure and homepage approach. Add plugins as you need them. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments which part of this setup you're most excited to try. And if you have questions about implementing any aspects of this system, drop those below as well. Until next time, remember, the best system isn't the most complex, it's the one you'll actually use. See you in the next one.